as a head coach to, have some outstanding kickers from, Stover to Adam to Steve, and Nick most recently. But, Adam's really, in my mind, the best of all time. His consistency, his ability to handle clutch situations, and make the biggest kicks, and just the longevity of his career. I mean, almost a quarter of a century, and the consistency is just remarkable. It was such a pleasure to be with Adam, even from his rookie year in '96 to then when I came back, and it was obviously right in the prime of his career, and made so many big kicks. We were in so many close games during the time that I was when he was here and I was the head coach. We were in so many close games that his ability to consistently put points on the board was incredibly valuable. And obviously the first kick in a snow bowl to tie it was has to go down as one of the great kicks of all time, if not the greatest. And then two game-winning kicks in Super Bowls. Just doesn't get any bigger than that. But one thing with Adam, you never felt that. You never felt the pressure of the moment, and he certainly didn't seem to. So it gave me and our team, great confidence. And again, I was very, very fortunate to have a player of his caliber. In my time as a head coach, and then, as I said, before and after, we'd had some pretty good ones too. But Adam was really, really special. So tribute to him and his great career, and I'm sure we'll place him in the Hall of Fame in 5 years. That's where it should be. The OTA process. So it's good to get all the players out there, obviously, and to be working with a full team. We had the phase one period, which was a little longer than, not counting last year, of course, a little longer than what it's been. Phase two was a little shorter, so we're working right from phase two into phase three in the OTAs. But it's good to get the players out there in a voluntary program. So the guys that are here, and it's great to work with them. And other players are in their individual situations. So that's that is what it is. But I'm impressed with the way that the guys are working, and we have a long way to go. We'll just take it day by day, trying to develop some fundamentals here, and install some basic teaching and playbook material. Obviously, have a lot of new players, and so as always, we build from the ground up. But that's certainly the case this year. We'll just try to keep stacking these fundamental days, on top of each other, and hopefully at the end of the spring we'll be as prepared as we can be to head into training camp at the end of July. So we'll see how that all progresses. I just take it one day at a time, but and it's good to be out there, and good to be on the field working with everybody. It's certainly a big and welcome change from last year.
Thanks, Coach. We're going to start with Mike Reese, followed by Ben Volin. Go ahead, Mike.
All right. Thanks, Stacy. Bill, will be good to see some practice for us. In the short time that Mac Jones has been here daily, what have you learned or observed about him that you wouldn't have known otherwise?
I think all the quarterbacks are working hard, and again, it's the starting over process for everybody. So some of them have been here, some of them haven't. They've had various levels of opportunity to work in our offense, but really we're starting everybody at the same point, like we always do at this time of year. So Mac dove into the playbook and continues to do that, and like everybody out there, we all have a lot of things we got to work on, and that includes everybody, and so that's what he's doing. That's what everybody's doing.
Next question, Ben Volin, followed by Joe Kia.
Hey, Bill. Hope you're doing well. With Cam Newton, just curious your thoughts on how he's approached this offseason, and how do you think he's going to handle the challenge of having a first-round quarterback behind him?
Yeah, Cam's been here, all the way through. He was here, at the beginning, and has been a consistent participant. Continues to give us the usual, leadership and energy that he brings to the field and to the workouts and to practice. So, Cam's very professional, and I'm sure that he'll, continue to work hard to do his best out there like he's always done for us. It's never been anything but that from the day he got here.
I also wanted to ask you real quick about Matt Patricia. You've lost Ernie Adams this offseason. You've lost Nick Caserio. How important is it to have someone like Matt, who you know and trust so much, and do you envision him filling some of their roles?
Yeah, it's great to have Matt here. He's obviously a outstanding coach and has a lot of experience and gained some experience in areas in the last 3 years that he didn't have as much of an opportunity to be in prior to that when he left. So yeah, his advice and counsel and presence has been valuable for us in a lot of ways. So yeah, I'm extremely glad that he's here and appreciate the contributions that he gives us on a daily basis.
Great, thanks.
You're
Next
welcome.
question, Joe Kayada, followed by Greg Bedard.
Good morning, Bill. How are you?
Good, Joe.
After not having an off-season last year due to the pandemic, how nice has it been and how beneficial this face-to-face and actually getting out there, especially for the younger guys?
Yeah, it's been good. It's good to have the opportunity to, work with all the players, whether it be young players or new players or guys that are coming back in their second, third year, or in some cases, well beyond that. To work with them face to face, to be on the field, to interact with them, and to see them improve and to try to improve and to take the coaching and the instruction that they're getting and turn those into better plays and better reps the next day or the next opportunity they get to do that. So that's what you want to see this time of year is the improvement of each player individually and then collectively to start to put a team together out there so that we can call plays and run plays and everybody know what to do, and then refine the techniques and reads and adjustments and so forth as we go. And that's the phase in the process we're in, and it's it's obviously great to be a part of it, and we're making a lot of progress daily. Of course, we have a long way to go, but we're chipping away at it.
Next question, Greg Bedard, followed by Tom Curran.
Hey, Bill. Obviously, this is unique off of last year, some of the guys coming back from opt-outs. Do you have any sense on where Dante Hightower is as far as coming back? Do you think has he indicated that he's all in? Do you have any reason to believe that he won't be on the roster come training camp? Thanks.
Yeah, well, with all the players that are on the roster and not here, then my expectations are that they'll, that they intend to play. But we know things can change, and that's always part of life and part of football. So we'll take it as it comes. But the guys that are here are working hard. They're getting better every day. They're learning, they're physically improving, their training and their conditioning and their strength and explosion, and their fundamentals and techniques are improving. And I know that a lot of the guys that aren't here, I know they're working hard, and I know the guys that weren't here for a period of time, 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks, that have come here are, doing the same thing. I can see that some of those guys have worked hard. They have some of them have some things to work on, but I'd say generally speaking that the guys that have come in that haven't been here the full time have been in pretty good been in pretty good condition and are ready to go. And again, each guy has his own circumstances, so I'm not going to get into that. But we'll see how it goes on some of the players that aren't here, which there's a number of them that aren't. But we'll welcome them when they get here. It's all voluntary, so when they're here, and we'll work with them.
Next question, Tom Kern, followed by Evan Lazar.
Hey, Bill, I have a question relative to Adam, which just occurred to me as you were speaking. Is he a good illustration for so many of the players who are coming in now, whether they be undrafted guys, first-year guys, everything that he did, whether it was in Amsterdam or he missed a ton of kicks very early in that, I think, 96 season before a game against Jacksonville. I just wonder if that would be something that you could talk to the team about. And I also have a question on Matt Judon.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a lot of great things about Adam's career. As you referenced, he wasn't a number one draft choice. He didn't come in with, that type of a pedigree. Did all the things that that he could do, and I think we all, for all of us, really, it's a process. Nobody comes in, even if you're drafted in the first round or whatever. Everybody's got a long way to go to improve in this league, and some guys do more than others, obviously, and certainly Adam took advantage of his opportunities, much like many other players have here, from Troy Brown to Steve Neal to you just keep right on going with all the free agents that we've had here that have come in and had good careers. So. Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lesson from all of them, but there's certainly Adam's, gone to the absolute top of his profession and position, and nobody's done more or done it better than he has, and that's a credit to his hard work, mental toughness, and his ability to have that kind of longevity, which encompasses a lot of things, but he's done them all.
And just really quick on Judon, thanks for that answer on Adam. Just how are you, this orientation to him that you guys are going through, what are you seeing from him in terms of how he fits? Anything surprising you, or is it this is what we expected? Early, I know.
Yeah, well, again, I look, for all the players at this point, I don't think this is a big evaluation period. I think this is a teaching period, and everybody's really trying to get in shape and get comfortable with what we're doing and so forth. So whether it's WebEx meetings or individual drills or a sprinkling of some group and team drills in there, we'll see how it all comes together with everybody. I don't think there's any revelations at this point on anybody.
Next question, Evan Lazar, followed by Chris Ryan.
Hey, Coach, I just wanted to ask you if you guys have gotten any sense from the league if the IR and practice squad rules that you guys had last year are going to continue into this year, and if you think it would be beneficial to continue those rules moving forward.
Yeah, all that's out of our hands, Evan. It's however that gets decided, it gets decided, and honestly, I'm just trying to worry about coaching this team and trying to do a good job to help our team prepare and improve through the spring. So whatever those rules are, they are. We're a long way from dealing with those right now.
Next question, Chris Ryan, followed by Ian Steele.
Hey, Bill, how are you?
Good, Chris.
Wanted to ask you about some of the things that the players have been talking about where they like the way the team looks on paper, but have talked about the significance of the work that you have to put in. At what sense in time do you get a sense for what the team is outside of what it is on paper as you go through your process?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, just take it one day at a time and try to, do the things that we think will help the team the most. We have a general outline and schedule, but, that gets modified for a variety of reasons as we, work through the process. And so that's what we'll continue to do. I don't have any time frame or, expectations other than, want to go out there and try to have a productive day today. We've talked about how we can do that. Hopefully we can get that done, and then we'll talk about our next opportunity and what we can try to do then. Both on an individual basis and collectively as a team or in groups, however it's broken down. And that's really how I try to look at it and how we try to do it. So it's much more short-term focused than picking out some random date somewhere in the future that I don't really know what that means right now.
Do you feel you fulfilled your
Chris, I'm gonna jump to the next one. We've got four left, and I'm gonna try to not do follow-ups here. Next question, Ian Steele, followed by Mark Daniels.
Morning, Bill.
Hey.
During your comments about Adam, around the area, a lot of memories come back up, and I'm just wondering your thought process and your mindset and your relief once you saw those 3 Adam kicks go through, obviously huge parts of your career as well.
Yeah, well, the first kick in the Oakland game was, that's the greatest kick I've ever seen. I mean, the conditions were, very difficult. It was cold. There was some wind, but more importantly, there was 5 inches of snow on the ground. Now the overtime kick, which was a hard kick too, is certainly by today's standards. Where there aren't very many games on grass, and there's a lot of dome games and turf games and so forth. But that kick was obviously a great kick too, and it's a pressure kick, and it wasn't easy. I'm not saying that, but there was a timeout and there was time to clear the snow and so forth. But when we look back at the regular, the kick during the regulation, the depth of the snow, the length of the kick, the conditions, I mean, to just make that kick in practice with no rush, no anything would have been a great kick. To do it in the pressure that he had, and the game conditions and all, I thought that, to me, that's the best kick I've ever seen in person or on film. And then obviously the 2 Super Bowl kicks were, last play of the game. Well, the Carolina game, there was we kicked off after that, but essentially the last play of the game, game-winning kicks. A lot of pressure. I think the Ram game was, again, a long kick, but I would say the Carolina kick, one of the things about that was just their rush. And they had blocked a kick earlier in the game. They blocked a lot of kicks that year. They had that's probably one of the all-time great field goal rush teams. Again, the rules were different than what they were back in the 70s when you could, run with the double jumpers and some, there was some different rules that made the rushes a little more effective schematically maybe back in the 70s, but to early 80s. But with what the rules were at that time, in 2003, that was a great rush team. Those guys were long, strong, explosive off the ball. They were hard to block. And so not only the kick, but the kick against a really good rush, having to get the ball up. I mean, bad kick there, that could easily, gone the other way. So it was, I think that was really probably one of the underrated kicks that Adam had, just because of the degree of difficulty on the other side of the ball. But yeah, he had a lot of big ones. Like I said, we were in a lot of close games, and it seemed like every kick was a big kick. It's 13-10, 17-14, 21-17, to make it 24, whatever. He had all those kicks that the points were just at such a premium there, and 01 and 03, even 04, a lot of tight games that, yeah, I mean, it's hard to single them out, but certainly those 4 are, you got to put them near the top of the list. I thought the Carolina kick was an underrated great kick. I mean, game-winning kick in a Super Bowl. I don't know how you can say that's underrated, but those conditions that was a good rush team.
And apologies to those that we didn't get to. Last question will be Mark Daniels.
Hey, Bill. Hope all is well. So the team signed Horta the other week. And I wanted to ask you about having 4 quarterbacks on the roster. Just one, what's the challenge when you have 4 quarterbacks and trying to get them all the work they need? Just as a coach, how do you go about, getting these players the work they need with obviously the allotted amount of practice time you guys do have?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's really a situation at every position. Doesn't matter whether you're talking about 13 offensive linemen or 8 defensive tackles or 4 quarterbacks or 9 receiver. It's hard to get everybody the right amount of work or to get them the high volume. But I think you just try to balance that out and give everybody an opportunity. Try to spread the reps out, and it's very important for players at every position to learn from the guy who's taking the reps. So even though they're not in there taking it, mentally, they can still take it and still, go through the process. In the quarterback's case, his pre-snap keys and real-time timing rather than watching it on film and that kind of thing. But real-time timing of, all right, here's what happens when the ball's snapped. Here's what I see. Here's where I go with the ball. But again, that's true of every position. So that's what a good player will do. That's what a good professional will do. They'll take advantage of every rep, whether they're in there or not, and then take advantage of the ones that they are in there on the field for. And so that's, we emphasize that with all players, and the plays that they get, and the team needs depth, and you never know what's going to happen at any position, and you can go from very quickly to having too many to not having enough. And so at this point in time, I feel like all those players are good players, and Brian has the most experience, and Cam had a lot of experience from last year, and Jared's had some off and on opportunities, but he'll continue to get opportunities, and so will Max. So we'll just see how it goes.
Thank you, Coach. Thanks, everyone.
When did Bud Light Seltzer start making lemonade?
Probably when 2020 handed us all those lemons.
New Bud Light Seltzer Lemonade, packed with lemonade flavor after a lemon of a year.
Opponents? I've gone up against thousands.
And there's an opponent we're all up against, COVID-19.
But there's a way to beat it. Get vaccinated.
So when it's your turn, roll up your sleeves.
And let's get to the finish line together.